Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. This is Carrie from Stamp with CT. So glad you're able to join me this morning, whether you are watching live or on the replay. Hope you're having a great day. We are going to be making some Get Well cards today, or a Get Well card. I've already made a few. So I'm glad you're here. Good morning. You can probably see that I've been a little bit busy. I wanted to make a gift for a friend and thought some Get Well cards would be perfect. She is a nurse like me and loves to send cards. So I'm going to make her a little gift box, and I wanted to share this cute fold that I'm using for the cards. So welcome, glad you're here this morning. Give just a little bit of time for people to hop on, and then we'll get started. I like to bring you just some quick and cute projects that are easily duplicatable in your crafting, and spend just a little bit of time with you these Wednesday mornings. I love coming live Wednesday at 10 o'clock each week to share a little crafting time with you. So let me show you these cards. This is kind of a modified Z-fold. It's super, super cute. And I went back to the annual catalog as far as the products that we're using. And I pulled out the flowers for every season. This one opens this way. That designer series paper, which means we are also using the in colors. So we have Bumblebee, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, and just a touch of Cinnamon Cider. So that's how they open. I thought it was neat that you can orient them each way. So we're going to make the last card that I want to include in the package for my friend. And let me pull in my catalog so I can show you the stamp sets. I actually have the stamp sets right here. That may be easier, but on page 72 is a beautiful stamp set called Healing Hugs. And it is one of our distinctive stamp sets. Maybe I don't have it right here with me. I thought I did. I have the other one. So this is called Healing Hugs. Distinctive is something that Stampin' Up! Has patented. It's the way that the flower looks just so realistic when you stamp it. So let me bring in that stamped image of that rose, and you'll be able to see just how beautiful that is. And all it is stamps, ink, and paper. So no special technique. You just ink the stamp, stamp it, and that is the result that you get. So isn't that gorgeous? And so easy. And then we are also using a stamp set that's on page 74. And it's called So Sentimental. Both of these stamp sets carried over from the last annual catalog. So some of you may already have them. It's nice to be able to pull out some of our supplies that we already have and get some more use out of them. This stamp set, you see the gray image around the sentiment. That means that coordinates with the die set. So if you look down here, it tells us it coordinates with Stitch So Sweetly. So I do have it here. And this is a die set I highly recommend. I use this one a lot. These layer on each other. Some of these layer as well. So you'll see as we make our project. So this is a great die set to have in your craft supplies. Let's move these over for a little bit so we have some room to work. So this fold is really very, very easy. You know, normally we have our card base is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So it's basically that very same fold. And then let me bring my trimmer in here on the corner, and we're going to just come in at 1 1/4 inches, and using that gray scoring blade, we'll score that. So we've got our card base folded. Then we're going to bring that little piece back on itself. And you want to use your bone folder to get a really good crisp fold so that it stays closed better. And you might have to work with it a couple times in the process. So there's our card base. So see how easy that little fold is. I really like that. Now the next thing we'll do is use our Designer Series paper, and as usual, I will go ahead and post measurements after the video has completed. But you want a piece of Designer Series paper that's 5.5 by 3 to go on this outer section, and then you want a piece that's 1 1/4 by 5.5 to go right here. And then I also cut that small piece of Whisper White, and again it's 3 by 5.5 to go on the inside where you can write your sentiment. So super easy and not a lot of supplies. Let's put some liquid glue here, or you can use the adhesive of your choice. This Flowers for Every Season paper is just so very pretty. And I love using the in colors from this year. You know, we've had them since June, and I think we've probably all fallen in love with them. They're really, really pretty. They work so well together, too. Let's put this small strip here. Now, you could certainly use the Just Jade pattern as an accent over here. I chose, whoops, I'm just bringing this down to the corner, y'all. Lining that up. I chose to go ahead with my patterns to be the same, but because we have beautiful two-sided paper, you could choose to do that coordinating side, and that would look really cute as well. Let's go ahead and put our white panel in. And as you can see, this comes together really quickly. Really quickly. So we're able to make a bunch of get well cards. See how that's still kind of coming up? Let's work on that a little bit more because we still have some ribbon we want to put under there. And once I package this up, it's going to hold that down too. So let's see, let me do some stamping. We're going to bring in the Misty Moonlight ink pad. And then I'm actually using the Get Well Soon, and this comes from Healing Hugs. It's a beautiful font. Y'all know I love fonts. Let me see if I can find something with a little bit darker background. Maybe not. We'll be okay. To stamp this, ink it up here. And let's see how we do stamping this morning. Remember to put a little pressure for about 5 seconds to let that ink really transfer. So that looks good. And I chose not to back the sentiment this time. On these, I did put either Designer Series paper or some cardstock back there for this one. But I think I'm just going to use the white this time. So let's see. I really like the way that will look. And somewhere I thought I had some ribbon. I do. This may not show up a lot, but it still will add a little bit of an accent. So we are going to come in with this Misty Moonlight ribbon. And just knot is what I've been doing on these cards. I think that just adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more interest to have that little knot there. And you could certainly add a bow if you wanted to. Trying to keep these really simple because I do want to make my friend Emily several of these cards. Let's see. We'll snip that end off. And I may have gotten my ribbon twisted a little bit. That's okay. And to make sure that my dimensionals are where I want them and not showing from the back, what I like to do is put them actually on this piece. It serves two purposes. It's where I'm going to place my sentiment, but it's also helping to tack that ribbon down and hold it in place. Let's get those off. And then we can put our sweet hello sentiment, get well sentiment. So I'm actually lining this up and trying to somewhat center it on the card versus centering it on this strip. So just so you know, so it's not coming way over to the right. But there we go. There's our card. Isn't that cute? And who would not want to receive a nice, bright, get well card? This one has a really nice sentiment too. So now what we're going to do is take all these beautiful cards that I've gotten made, and we're going to put them in one of our acetate boxes. So these come, I want to say they're 10 in a package. I'll have to look, but they come flat, and you just work with it and bring it up to where you put this box together. And a lot of times I'll fold these back to get them working a little bit better. I think the box comes together easier if you've manipulated that a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide our cards down inside. So this box usually holds about 5 cards, and I have 5 envelopes too. So let me see about getting those tucked in the back. So this makes such a nice gift, you guys. And a lot of us already have cards that we've made. Let me work on that a little bit more and get that underneath. So go through your cards that you have already created and make up some gift boxes. These are such a nice way to present your cards. I may be being just a little bit generous with 5. 4 may have fit better. But we're going to make it work. These are really good boxes to have around the holidays as well. We've put socks in them before. Like if you did a sock exchange with coworkers or a church group, that type of thing, you can put your socks in there, make a little belly band to go around it, and it looks super cute. Sorry, I'm struggling with this. I promise it's not as hard as I am making it. I'm just trying to get that tucked back behind those envelopes. There we go. Okay, now we're good. So let's bring in just a scrap. This is 11 by, I think, about 1 1/4 inches. And I did do some scoring to wrap that around. And I think, let's bring this belly band down just a little bit maybe. I'm going to go ahead and adhere just a piece of this really pretty designer series paper. Let me kind of get my placement again to the front, leaving just a little bit of a border. And we'll go ahead and put this belly band. So my designer series paper is 6x6. It won't go all the way around, but that's why I just grabbed a piece of cardstock. And of course my glue quit working. There we go. Not a little bit. We'll just leave a little border. I think that'll look nice on the front of our box. You wouldn't have to do this. And as a matter of fact, what you could do is just wrap some ribbon around. Well, maybe that's what we'll do. I'm trying to decide. I think with that same pattern showing on the card, what I'm going to do is just wrap a little bit of ribbon around and tie a pretty bow. It's okay to change your mind in the middle of your process, isn't it? That's what I'm going to do. I think that looks good. And like I said, what a sweet gift. We have so many handmade cards already made, so package them up. Now you could also, I've done this before, where I just take some tulle and wrap it around the cards and envelopes and package it that way. We also have the cello bags, the 6x8 cello bags that you could package your cards in. I'll probably put a little glue dot under there to hold that ribbon in place where I want it. So there you go. There's our project for today. I love the way that it turned out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tie my bow a little bit tighter. Figure out exactly where I want it, but I really love the way it turned out. I'm so excited to be able to give my friend these cards. I know that she loves sending cards, and she doesn't have time right now to make handmade cards, but I'm hoping that she'll be able to join us for our classes coming up. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope that you'll pull out some of the supplies that you already have and mix them up with things that are new that you've just purchased. See you next week. Thank you.